What's going on, church? I'm excited to let you know what the last book of the quarter is for 2022. As you know, we started the year off in 1 Corinthians, and we've been walking through the book through this year with a short break in the summer. The series on Sunday morning in 1 Corinthians is called Imperfect Church, Perfect Gospel. And as you know, the church in Corinth was not perfect, but Paul wanted to show them that the gospel was deeply applicable to the way they did church and the way they did life outside of church as well. The books of the quarter, we started off with a book called I Am a Church Member, looking at what it means to be a member of a church. What is a healthy church member like? How should they interact with each other, with the leadership of the church, and with their scriptures and Bible studies, that sort of thing. We then moved forwards and spent time in A Praying Life by Paul Miller. And that book just focusing on the value of prayer, not just in this time that we worship, but also outside of the gathered people on Sunday morning. And then after that, we looked at a book on worship and the importance of deeply grounded biblical worship. It's not just about good emotional songs, but rather understanding that the songs that we sing should align with what Scripture says. And as a church that wants to worship in the right way, we want to make sure the songs we sing are aligned with Scripture, aligned with the gospel. The last book of the quarter, what I want to introduce to you today, is called A Place to Belong, and it's written by Megan Hill, Learning to Love the Local Church. I just want to conclude this video reading the back of the book, a synopsis of this book. Listen in. The church has more beauty and more value than we can see with physical eyes. Though our congregations are made up of ordinary people engaged in predictable practices, we are an outpost of heaven itself. The church is the people of God, the dwelling place of the Spirit and the fullness of Christ. With rich theology and practical direction, A Place to Belong invites us to experience the local church in light of the Bible's testimony. Considering 9 biblical terms for the church, such as beloved, brothers and sisters, saints, and gospel partners, this book equips us to love and serve one another. Whether we are new Christians or mature believers, learning to love the local church can become one of our greatest privileges and highest joys. The church is where we belong. I encourage you to pick up a copy of this book. And if you want to discuss it with some other people or want to dive a little bit deeper, there's also some studied guide questions at the back of the book. Pick up a copy of A Place to Belong as we close out the year 2022. And this book really brings together so much of what we've been focusing on this year. I'll see you next time.